Good evening, everyone. As you are strolling in and trying to find a place to sit or stand, I do want to call this meeting to order and announce that this meeting of the Seguin Independent School District has been duly called. The notice of this meeting has been posted in accordance with the Texas Opens Meeting Act, Section 551.043 of the Texas Government Code. Ms. Duncan, I'm going to ask you to lead the pledges tonight.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
I'll give us all time for a moment of silence. Okay, thank you. And I do want to welcome all of you. We haven't seen this many people in this room in a very long time. I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Gutierrez for his announcements.
What a nice feeling it is to have this many people come together to celebrate some great accomplishments this evening and to be able to see smiles that we haven't seen in over 14 months. It is absolutely amazing. And we could not have gotten through these last 14 months without one another, because it certainly took a community coming together. And as you've seen, the hashtag Stronger Together, and that certainly represents what Seguin ISD and the Seguin ISD community are. We are certainly stronger together, and we would not be here together today without the support that we have provided to one another. So there are a few announcements that I have to share this evening as we are quickly moving toward a very well-deserved break. I want to first start by thanking the Seguin Chamber of Commerce for hosting the annual Teacher of the Year Luncheon last week to honor the area Teachers of the Year. While we designated all of our teachers as honorary Teachers of the Year, our principals were on hand to receive a plaque to display at their campus. It was great to see the chamber members and elected officials who were in attendance to support Seguin. Several fine arts events are scheduled for the week, including the Color Guard Showcase, which is happening as we speak, plus the Breezy Meister Moana performance on Thursday at 7:30 p.m. in the AJB Amphitheater, and the Barnes Mariachi concert on Friday at 6:30 p.m. at Barnes. Next week, pencil in the high school's theater arts performance of Fiddler on the Roof, June 3rd through the 6th in the PAC. Showtimes will be posted soon on social media. Several of our student athletes will also be signing letters of intent with colleges and universities on June 4th at noon in the Student Activity Center. At 12:30 also on June 4th, our MBLC at Sagert graduates will be honored at their campus during the final graduation walk of the school year. All are invited to support our students in these events. I'm looking forward to being part of the celebration to honor the Seguin High School class of 2021 at the live graduation ceremony on Friday, June 11th at 8 p.m. in the new Matador Stadium. Each graduate may invite up to 10 guests. We will live stream the event on our social media outlets. Congratulations to our Matador class of 2021. Go forth and conquer the world.
Wow, 2021 graduating class. I didn't think I'd ever see that. It's really great, a great accomplishment. All right, moving on in our agenda, we have our recognition items. We have 3 different recognition items this evening. I'm just going to turn it over to Dr. Gutierrez and to Mr. Hoffman.
first recognition item is our Destination Imagination teams who will be competing in the Globals event, and I'm going to welcome our Destination Imagination Coordinator, Mr. Michael Olstad.
Good evening. This will help. What a remarkable year it has been, and you can define that any way you want to. But for Pam Kribner and I, we were very excited by the possibilities that COVID presented our program, Destination Imagination. It allowed us to take the kids and to put them into a real-world situation and ask them to do what they had been taught, which was to think creatively, look at those solutions critically, and come up with a way to present it in a way that they had never done, being asked to do things that the challenges had never presented them before. There were several things that united all four of these teams. The first is 3 of the teams have team members who have been doing Destination Imagination since either kinder or first grade. Some have multiple kids who have done that. The second one is 2 of the coaches grew up doing DI under the direction of Pam Kribner when they were in high school, so they have that experience. And part of that second one is the other 2 TMs have been involved in DI coaching multiple teams for 10 or 15 years. And so they have those skill sets in place, and boy, did our teams respond. So with that said, I believe that Dr. G and Mark Cantu are going to come up and present medals. If the Weinert team will come up. The Weinert team is a 4th and 5th grade team. They placed 2nd in the technical challenge. And the team members are, and as I call your name, if you will walk up to Dr. G and Mark. Evan Flores. Ava Martinez. Piper Perry. Ali Schulbaum. And the twins, Jason and Reagan Ram. Okay. We'll get a picture of each team. Y'all kind of slide over this way. Group up. All right, now we're good. We've got our background. Michael, would you like to get in the photo? No, I am good. Thank you. The next team coming up is a combined Barnes Riesemeister team, 6th and 7th grade. They placed 4th in the improvisational challenge. Molly Burns. Eleanor Crittenden. Melanie Poe. grade team, and I want to just kind of comment on that. It is very unusual for third grade team competing against fourth and fifth graders to qualify for global. They did the learning challenge and they finished 7th at the state tournament. Maya Diaz. Abigail Quartz. And Gage Williams. Three. 1, 2, 3, 3, 3. Very good. Thank you.
Great job.
And our next team is from the high school, and they got the coveted wild card to be able to compete in globals. They did the Fine Arts Challenge, which is often the one that is performed. More teams probably picked that than any of the others. They are getting presented their first place medals from regional, Gage, Compton. I realize actually a lot of you guys aren't here. So the ones that are Leo De Leon. And Ava Twittero. The other kids are Gage Compton, Kyra Nunez, Seth Quartz, Rachel Grace Rutia, something, sorry. And Jonathan Washington.
I'm just going to stay up here. And before we go on to the next item, I just want to share how proud I am of our DI students. They continue to do such a great job representing Seguin ISD. So let's give them another round of applause for their great efforts. It is certainly a point of pride in Seguin ISD. We're going to recognize another group of students, and that is the Superintendent Student Advisory Team for the 2020-2021 school year. And I enjoy working with this group of students, and we started the Superintendent Student Advisory Team back in 2017 to give our students a voice, to give them a seat at the table. And they have really done some tremendous work over the years. They played a key part in our strategic planning process. They played a key part over the summer as we prepared for our COVID protocols. And this year, they did so much as we were trying to navigate through the pandemic and giving us real-time feedback so that we could ensure we were better serving our students across the district. I'm sad that I'm going to have a new group next year because I really enjoyed this group. And some of the students in this year's group have been on the superintendent's advisory team for several years, whether it was consecutively or not, but they have just really done an outstanding job representing their peers. And so we're going to recognize them by providing them with a certificate. And SSAT members, when you come up, if you will remain standing so that we can take a group photo for those of you who are here. Our first one from Seguin High School is Sophia Atrian. Seguin High School, Clementina Valderas. Seguin High School, Carter Dunn. Keep in mind that a lot of these students have conflicts this evening. There's a lot going on. Seguin High School, Camden Holt. Seguin High School, Caden Ligor. Seguin High School, Jonathan Martinez Calderon. Jim Barnes Middle School, Court Conway. Jim Barnes Middle School, Caleb Pate. Jim Barnes Middle School, Alejandra Quiroga. Jim Barnes Middle School, Jordan Salceda. Breezy Meister Middle School, Sarah Elliott. Breezy Meister Middle School, Isaiah Lozano. Breezy Meister Middle School, Riley McCoyne. Breezy Meister Middle School, Clara Spencer Dibble. Jefferson Elementary School, Alexander Groman. Kinnicky Elementary School, Rylan Ramos. Mckinney Elementary School, Leah Bella. Batlan Elementary School, Addison Brooke Elkins. Rodriguez Elementary School, Emerson Sawyer. Vogel Elementary School, Jade Hales. And Weinert Elementary School, Ava Martinez.
slide over this one a little bit. Don't stand behind that. All right, this side get a little bit tighter.
And then we're going to look to the right, to the center, right? Yeah. All right, to the right. You can.
All right, now on three. 1, 2, 3, 3.
Center. And to the left. Awesome. Thank you all. This is always a very special moment in our board meetings when we have the opportunity to honor and recognize outstanding Matador staff members who do such amazing things for kids. And so tonight is an even more special night because we are honoring 2 individuals who have truly gone above and beyond for their students during a very challenging year. Our first honoree promotes the love of learning every day to her students. She works very hard every year and is determined that all of her students feel and become successful. It's not easy to do math for many students. It is challenging, but the minute students step into her classroom, they experience the success, and within a couple of weeks, they all believe it. Her students' successful experiences immediately boost their self-efficacy, and this is evident when you visit her classroom. It is a beautiful sight to see her teach and interact with her students. Time and time again, she gives of herself and to her students, both in and out of the classroom. You can find her volunteering her time to student council and shelters, helping the very community where she teaches. Whenever there is a need, she is there to pour her heart and soul into it. When there was a need to tutor at another campus, she gave up her Saturdays to help. For these reasons, the Apple Award goes to Batlan Elementary School teacher, Dr. Tracy Post.
Congratulations.
Our second honoree is a dynamic educator. She is exceptionally well-versed in all aspects of teaching and learning geometry. However, what separates her from other teachers is her noticeable passion for her students. She will tell you that she prefers students who are more difficult to reach because she has a hidden talent to impact them. Her students say that she is not only a great math teacher, but also an even better human being. She takes the time to help resolve students' math problems and is more than willing to help them with their own personal problems as well. She has served many roles in her years at Seguin ISD, including stops at MBLC and Seguin High School. This year, she successfully served as a Seguin High School virtual math teacher and administrative intern. Seguin High School students are lucky to have her as part of the team because she makes learning math relevant to their lives. Congratulations to Seguin High School teacher Kelly McCann for earning the May 2021 award.
Virtual learning.
We can give you the floor, McCann.
Virtual all year. Why am I coming?
So many great people working for this district. It's always such a wonderful thing to see these teachers and staff members come forward. Moving on in our agenda, we have another presentation from Mr. Mark Montu, which is going to recognize the professionals who have completed our Aspiring Administrators Academy.
So this evening we want to recognize the individuals who for the last year or so have sat with us after school for about an hour and a half, about once a month, and really just got to know all the behind the scenes work, especially around the central office work of what it is that happens and what they need to know in order to become a future administrator. So the folks that we are recognizing today vary in different roles. We have classroom teachers, we have counselors, we have interns, we have academic deans. So these all want to have a future in Seguin ISD as an administrator, and they have a bright future ahead of them. So I'm going to go ahead and start them by calling their name. If y'all would just come up and be recognized. Barry Brandenberger. Jessica Castro. Bianca Duval. Maria Guerra. Joanne Holiday. Dawn Lynn. Leslie Mahaffey. Cointa Perez Vasquez. Lisa Weir. Marilyn Wiley. And Suzanne Zink. All right, and I'll take a group photo, please. Everybody will look at me. Right? Do you want the best picture?
Right. Trustees, if we could get you, just move a little bit to your right, thank you. No, y'all were good. Max, you're getting a little bit of that.
Maybe we all step over a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, why did it?
I was gonna say it, but Ms. Duncan said it instead. Great, very good. Anybody else?
Thank you all.
And I'd like to share that of this group, I believe 6 of them have either advanced during the year or will be advancing. So we are very proud of this group of individuals who have aspirations to serve as leaders in Seguin ISD. Congratulations.
All right, next up on our agenda is item 3, which is audience with the board. We typically set aside a period of time for audience participation at the beginning of each meeting for persons who desire to make comments. We did not have anyone sign up this evening, so I'm going to go on to item number 4, which are our reports and information items. And we're going to start off with item 4A, which is information regarding the purchase of classroom materials and furniture for Ball Early Childhood Center.
So President Thomas Jimenez, members of the board, and Dr. Gutierrez, this evening we're going to share with you a presentation that Ms. Riley, our principal at Ball, and our academic intern, Jessica Gosselaar, have put together. They're going to share just their vision of how these monies, and they'll talk about what that needs to look like, and the purposes in creating a 21st Learning Center at Ball Childhood Education Center. Sorry. Deborah and Jessica, please join us.
Good evening, board, Dr. Gutierrez. We're glad to share this exciting news. One afternoon I got a phone call from Mr. Cantu, and he said, Deborah, I have good news and I have bad news. And I said, okay. And I'm thinking my wheels are turning, and he said, I have some money I need you to spend. And I said, oh, well, that's never a problem. You can give a principal money. And he said, but you have a very short time period to do it in. And I said, oh, okay, we can do that. So he said, I need you to spend $10,000 by Friday. This was Wednesday. And I was like, okay, we can do this. So we got on it, and we spent $10,000 by Friday. And then he said, now here's the really good news. He goes, I need you to spend $400,000, and you have about 2.5 weeks to do it in. And I said, can you repeat that number again? And he said, I need you to spend $400,000. I said, okay, here we go. So our presentation tonight is to show you how do we transform Ball into that 21st century high-performing pre-K center that we already know it is. But here we go.
So our vision at Ball is inspire all to play, love, learn, and our mission is to provide a foundation for learners to become leaders.
Again, the emphasis is to play, love, and learn. So the purpose for the early ed allotment funds was put in play by House Bill 3. And so it allowed school districts to use funds to help develop the reading and the math at an early level. Because our goal as a district and as a state is to have our 3rd graders reading on level by 3rd grade. Well, where does it begin? It begins with us. It begins at that early literacy level. So at Ball, we are going to use this money. This is our current classrooms. We took some real quick pictures to show you. This is what our classrooms look like now. The classrooms that are at Ball came from Seguin. So when one Seguin was closed, the furniture, everything moved from one Seguin to Ball. That was 11 years ago. So note that some of that furniture, some of the materials being used is being reused, like shelves turned on their sides and mounted to the wall so that it matches the height requirement. We have still broken chairs. When they first got there, they were telling me their chairs didn't even fit their little feet. Their feet dangled on the floor. Well, their feet need to touch the floor. Most of the tables were square tables with pointed ends, not the nice, pretty rounded corners. Some other things, we've had to do a lot of mounting of shelves against walls. That doesn't make for a good pre-K classroom when your shelf is permanently mounted to a wall because it can fall down. So, what are we going to use these funds for?
So here is a sample of a 21st century classroom. When we started gathering ideas of what we were going to use our money on, we focused on a high quality performing pre-kindergarten program, moving us into that 21st century. And we looked at different companies, and most of our purchases have come from Lakeshore Learning, Becker's, and Kaplan.
Okay. We've updated the classroom furniture with new classic birch cubbies and shelves that are low, so they match the height requirement that is required for a high-quality pre-K program. We've added in some flex space, the comfy floor seats for flexible seating, because we know that our kids don't all need to sit in a chair. They need various opportunities to learn. We've updated the tables. They now are rectangular tables with rounded corner edges. The chairs fit, their feet hit the floor. And they also have the end caps on them so they're not sliding and moving around as easy. They're a little more sturdy. The classic cubbies, lockers that are in the middle, some of our classrooms don't have built-in lockers. So we've added lockers into those classrooms, or we've replaced broken lockers. The Quiet Time Privacy Cube is just as that. Some kids need very quiet time. Teachers have put little couches and pillows and little things to squeeze and just a place to go and have a little quiet time. Oh, sorry, this is still me. The reading materials that we have purchased, of course, are going to, our main focus at Ball is the phonemic awareness, moving into letters and sounds. So we have purchased items for the reading material areas that are going to help develop those skills, like the dough play mats, so they can roll Play-Doh and make the letters. One, it helps develop their fine motor because they're using Play-Doh, or clay if they need that more sturdy, they can use the clay. The starter kits to build the letters. The buckets on the right-hand side are all sound buckets that have items inside that start with that letter that helps build that alliteration skill. And then the middle one is just a sample of a game to play with rhyming, since rhyming is one of the main focuses of phonemic awareness.
We're also a dual language campus, so it was important for us to find Spanish material for our dual language classroom, like the Spanish alphabet tubs. Enrich their libraries with more Spanish novels and books for them, and also to find, as you can see, like the Becker's construction set, just items for play that are also in their language.
And that's the nice thing that you're finding more and more, is that the companies are realizing that we are dual language, and it's a real focus here in the state of Texas, and they are creating games and creating little pieces of play that are in that dual language, which has been really helpful for us.
We also focused on math, and updating our math materials that focused on counting and problem solving, the foundation skills for them. A lot of hands-on, you'll see like the nuts and bolts for them, fine motor skills, the light tables to kind of engage them to do an activity on there, but a lot of very hands-on and foundational skills for them.
Now, Jessica and I were deciding how do you spread out $400,000 into 20 classrooms at Ball? Well, one classroom we designed specifically and purchased for one classroom as a 21st century classroom, because we have one classroom that is empty this year. So we wanted to make sure that we really looked at that space and we really looked, what does that classroom need? So we did that first. But then, I don't know what happened to the presentation, but we did have some must-haves for each teacher. So we do a lot of social and emotional learning at Ball. That's probably one of our biggest proponents, is that we want to build that capacity for learning how to do school. So every classroom is getting one of these home comfy chairs and couches. That goes in the Dramatic Play Center. Sometimes it will be just a couch and a chair. Sometimes it could be the front of a fire engine. Sometimes it could be the backside of a taco truck. We've had taco trucks this year, by the way. The next space is the Art Center. It's very important to develop that sense of creativity. So we bought art centers for every classroom. The Stand-Up Magnetic Design Center is for STEM activities. It comes with pipes and marbles so that they can build ramps and they can build construction pieces that go down and work on those. So the sand and water table, again, is for STEM. That's to allow, that play, just the play with letting sand go through a tube or water go through a tube. And the last thing is that was my first purchase, by the way, the $10,000, is the teaching cart, because every classroom does what we call message board, which if you ever get a moment, come watch message board. It's 15 minutes first thing in the morning, and there are so many skills addressed in that first 15 minutes of the day. It's amazing. And my teachers are an amazing job. And I wanted them to have something that they could use to create, and that letter sound, phonemic awareness, reading center. And on the back are tubs, so everything they need is right there, hands-on, right behind them. So.
We also came up with a list of some items we wanted every classroom to have for their centers. So you can see down there, there's a Lakeshore hardwood kitchen set and a little table and chair for dramatic play. We thought it was important that they look like. We also have, and the groceries, it's real life-size food for them to build their oral language through that dramatic play. A lot of languages and vocabulary is happening during them. We got the giant doll houses and the real-life babies, again, for them to role play and have that opportunity to speak with each other and problem solve. And then we have a wooden train set. We thought we can put some math skills in there. Again, problem solving, trying to figure out how it goes together, engineering skills. So we found some items that we wanted every classroom to have.
It's like Christmas. It is exciting. We've already had one complete classroom delivered last Friday. Lakeshore came, put all the items together, moved it to it was an empty classroom, moved it in the classroom, and you walk by there and you can just smell. And you should have seen the teachers. It was their work day and they were leaving their classrooms going into that classroom going, oh my gosh, I ordered that. So it's very exciting. I can't say on behalf of the staff, thank you. They were going to have matched furniture in their classrooms, not mixed matched. Oh, I stole this from one campus, I got this from another teacher, I got this. You know how teachers are. They're already putting labels on things that are like, oh. The nice thing, the district has worked very hard with us. They're going to come and remove all the old furniture next week and take it to Sagert and house it at Sagert for us so that it will be a place for all other teachers in the district. Come shopping, because there's still some usable things. So we're very excited, and I have to say thank you on behalf of my staff, because it's Christmas.
Well, and you said that this furniture came from Seguin 11 years ago, but keep in mind that furniture had been there for a number of years. But this investment is going to match that quality teaching that's happening at Ball Early Childhood. I think if you've not had an opportunity to visit, you'll be amazed with what those teachers do with our tiniest of matadors, and I'm just excited about this opportunity to invest in our classrooms to help us get to where we want to be with all students reading on grade level by 3rd grade.
I'm so excited. I went to one Seguin. I don't think my feet touched the ground. Which they rarely do, but.
Any questions, comments?
Me too.
Please, come play.
Well,
Come play.
I did hear a comment that it was pretty much an invitation. So I have a feeling we're going to see some of these faces.
I tell Dr. Gutierrez all the time, if you just need a break, come to the happiest place on earth, because that's where it
Winter
is.
rides at tricycle.
Yes.
And the comfy couch you can sit on, it's adult.
So are they coming to set up all of the classrooms for you?
They actually are. Lakeshore is sending, another round is coming in next week. And then the following week, another round is coming in. And Lakeshore is actually sending a team to assemble everything. Becker's and Kaplan, most of their items are already assembled, so there's not a lot of assembly that needs to be done. But my friend Castro here has gotten really good with a tool. But we also are going to bring in husbands and
You should take
teachers.
the
and-
boxes, because they probably like to play in those.
Absolutely, that'll be the next thing. Thank y'all very much.
I have a question for
Oh,
Mark.
yes.
For Mark.
Oh, for Mark.
This money came from, please remind me again, or let us know where we found it so we can go find some more.
So all this is funded, and there are a couple of things that you'll approve tonight that are all coming from House Bill 3. So this is from the last legislative session. Our legislature changed how schools were funded. This was an early education allotment. And this money, as it stands right now, and hopefully it continues unless there's a legislative change, will be recurring every year. We won't have that pot of money available, but we will have monies available to be able to continue to support our goals. And we can use it pre-K through third grade.
Thank you.
So, Mark, so you said it won't be the same amount, it's just gonna be,
Yep, so it's a little bit less. We had the very first year that we received that money, we had a waiver so that we could have a planning year. And so that's the money that we had saved up in the pot to be able to design what this needed to be, what it needed to look like. So that's when we said, okay, we know what we need to use it for. We identified, and that's when we called Deborah and said, all right, it's time to spend money now. But we will have that recurring pot, and I can't quote the exact amount, but I'm sure Tony can remind us.
for several years, or?
Yeah, it's in legislation, so it'll be funded that way until legislation changes.
That's all?
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you. I thank you all.
All right, next up on our agenda is item 4B, which is an information item regarding the purchase of iPads for grades pre-K through third. Mr. Lewis.
President Thomas Jimenez, School Board, Dr. Gutierrez, and guests. Tonight, this would normally have been something I've been just a consent agenda item because it's just it's not really, it's kind of a routine purchase and it's done off a co-op, but we wanted to kind of bring it out and highlight it because it kind of goes along just with what we just did. This money that was for the pre-K 3 early childhood, we used some of those funds to continue our investment in one-to-one technology program for our district. And so remember, as we talked about this last year, and as we were moving into the one-to-one process when COVID hit, so if there's anything that we could say good came out of COVID, it was probably a great time to implement one-to-one because of all the things that we had to do and were forced to do and positions we were put in. So there is a silver lining to some of this. We started with this because we wanted to expand our learning opportunities, especially like the high school spent a lot of time and a lot of the folks there have invested a lot of time in blended learning and becoming certified in blended learning and becoming good virtual teachers and developing that. We wanted to have an equitable distribution and access across our district, and we wanted, again, just expand our learning opportunities. So year one, we really focused on the high school as being our focus with the Chromebook purchases, and they went one-to-one take home, checked them out, they've had them all year. We're in the process of getting ready to start collecting those back. So year one was for that year. Also in year one, K3 and 4-5 was kind of, let's collect everything we have at the other campuses, and we put them in that K5 situation. The MacBooks we put in 4th and 5th grade, and iPads we put in pre-K through 3rd grade. And then 6 and 8, 6-8 was really not included in that year one. However, because of COVID, we did get some additional Chromebooks. We did put some more technology into the middle schools. They got several hundred more Chromebooks each. So actually going into year two, 6-8 has their one-to-one, and we're almost exactly there already with one-to-one. So the 6th through 8th grade will have, we worked through, we're going to do one-to-one in all the academic classrooms to next year at the middle schools. We're going to get one more year out of our MacBooks. It says 3 to 5. I meant to put 4 or 5, sorry. And then our K-3, we really need to do iPad. This was the year we were supposed to do an iPad replacement because we really stretched those iPads an extra year or two at those grade levels. So this first purchase of about 930 iPads and cases is going directly to those K-3 classrooms. And then we're going to, once we approve the budget, we'll do a few more to round off about, it was about 1,250 or so that needed replacement out of those 1,600 that were in that grade level configuration. So it's real important that we continue our one-to-one initiative, especially in the younger grades as well, because there's so many tools now that we use daily, we rely on, not just for the instructions, and our teachers, who we can't say enough, have done an amazing job this year, adapting and adopting and using the technology in their classrooms, whether it's for virtual learning or for face-to-face learning, and just really embedding the technology in the classroom. There's a lot of tools that we use now, as well as a lot of support we give through, we have a lot of assessment that has to happen through that technology, all the way down to the youngest kids. So we rely on a lot of different things. STAR is going to be exclusively online here in 2023. So the technology investment we're making now is just going to be there and part of our culture, part of our learning culture as we move into that setting. So first of all, I just want to say we got awesome teachers. They have embraced this. They've done a great job. I appreciate all the feedback and just the effort that has gone on. They've made this better than anybody could hope for in a one-to-one rollout, especially at the high school. They've been amazing. I'd like to thank our library staff because they've been a big part of the coordination at all of the campuses, and the librarians have been heroes as well, just in taking on different things and organizing and just being a big part of it. The campus administrators have been very supportive, and especially now we're trying to even round up stuff that went out last spring as COVID, and it's just been a group effort, and they've been great with that. And also just want to make sure I thank my technology team who's done a great job. My technicians, Jeffrey Lee, everybody's been involved with that piece. So just wanted to kind of give you a quick update where the iPads are going, what they're doing, and how it fits into the big picture as we continue in our quest. We will technically all be one-to-one for this next school year, 100% across the board. And then as we move down the road, we continue to have a replacement cycle and bring our technology items, keep them current and ready for our students for the challenges and for the requirements that are for learning coming up and testing down the road. I'd be glad to answer any questions or yes, sir.
I know last year was kind of challenging because of the demand for the computers, the COVID. Do you anticipate that this coming year? As far as the manufacturing caught up, I guess, with the demand?
Yeah, the wait times right now are not too bad on most items, so we're pretty good there. So.
Thanks.
Yeah, the iPads have already been delivered. We ordered them and they were delivered within a month. So they're ready to go, and my team's already started prepping them, and third week of June we'll be distributing them to all campuses.
Thank you.
All right.
All right. Next up on our agenda is for the board to go into closed session. We're going to adjourn into closed session pursuant to the following sections of the Texas Opens Meeting Act. Government Code 551.071, 551.074, 551.129, which is consultation with legal counsel, including possible telephone consultation with legal counsel as necessary to address legal concerns, implications, and answer any legal questions regarding posted agenda items. Item B is pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.074, which is to discuss personnel matters, including appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal of employees or an employee. So we have a discussion regarding the principal at Jefferson Elementary, discussion regarding academic dean at Jim Barnes Middle School, Jefferson Elementary, Kennedy Elementary, Mckinney Elementary, Potlan Elementary, and Weinert Elementary. So it is 7:27, and we're going to go into closed session at this time. Okay, we're now moving on to item 6, which is to reconvene to open meeting. It is 8:14. And we have up in front of us possible action on professional personnel, including appointment, employment, evaluation, assignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal of a public employee. And first up, we have possible action to select principal at Jefferson Elementary.
Madam President, I make a motion to approve the principal at Jefferson Elementary as it was discussed during the closed session.
All right, I have a motion to approve the principal at Jefferson Elementary. Do I have a second? Mr. Amador, beat you to it. Mr. Amador. Any further questions or discussion? If not, all in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 6-0.
Good evening, Board of Trustees, Dr. Gutierrez. I am so excited to announce this next appointee. It is my pleasure to announce Ms. Valerie Mckinney as the new Jefferson Avenue Elementary School principal. Ms. McKinney. Ms. McKinney comes with a wealth of experience as a special education teacher, science and math teacher in both the elementary and secondary levels, as well as her most recent position as assistant principal of Potlan Elementary. Mrs. McKinney's vertical experience has given her a unique perspective in supporting teachers and students at the elementary level. The invaluable experiences as a campus administrator under the direction of Mrs. Guzman has prepared her to help manage the internal functions of a campus while balancing the instructional leadership responsibilities of the principalship.
Congratulations, Ms. McKinney. We are excited about you joining the Jefferson Avenue family.
All right, and next up is possible action to select the academic deans at Barnes, Jefferson, Kennedy, Mckinney, Potlan, and Weinert.
Madam President, I move that we select the academic deans at Barnes, Jefferson, Kennedy, McKinney, Potlan, and Weinert as discussed in closed session.
I have a motion from Ms. Crittenden. Do I hear a second?
I second.
Thank you, Ms. Duncan. All in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 6-0.
It is my pleasure to announce the new academic deans for the elementary school. We all know that our academic deans are the heartbeat of the instruction that happens within every campus, so I'm extremely excited to name our new additions. Christina Ramirez, who was at Seguin High School as a technologist, will now be the new Jefferson Avenue Elementary Academic Dean. Ms. Ramirez comes. She's an internal hire, and she comes with 24 years of experience. Mr. Robert Strever is coming to us from Schertz-Cibolo University. He will be the new academic dean at Kennedy Elementary, and he comes with 12 years of experience. One of our own, Ms. Yvette Gamboa. She will be the new McKinney Elementary Academic Dean, and she comes with 11 years of experience. Very proud of Ms. Gamboa. We have Ms. Lysandra Black from Alamo Heights. She has 20 years of experience and will be joining the Potlawn Elementary team. And another one of our babies, Miss Jessica Castro, will be the new Weiner Academic Dean. With 10 years of experience and another wonderful accolade, she's an SHS grad. And if you, yes. And if you will all humor me just a few more moments, I would love to highlight our latest advancements. Mr. Robert Ariola will be the new Associate Principal of AJB Middle School. Ms. Tori Butenagel will be the new Associate Principal of Jim Barnes Middle School. Ms. Bianca Duval was the intern, is now the Assistant Principal of AJB. Tricia Eccles was the Academic Dean of Weiner, is now the Assistant Principal at Mckinney Elementary. Tracy Gonzalez was the Academic Dean of Potlawn, is now the Assistant Principal at Jefferson Elementary. Christy Miranda was the Barnes Middle School Academic Dean, will now be our Education Data Analyst Coordinator at Central Office. Alice Seidenberger was the Assistant Principal at Barnes Middle School, will now be the Restorative Practices Coordinator. And Ms. Suzanne Zink was the Administrative Intern at Seguin High School, will now be the Assistant Principal at Seguin. We are certainly Matador proud.
Certainly excited about next year and just really proud of these individuals who are internal, who are going to grow in Seguin ISD, but I'm also really proud of the talent that has come to us by way of other districts. And as you can feel, there's a lot of excitement in the air, and I really do believe that these individuals are really going to be a value add in the departments or on the campuses that they serve. Congratulations.
Yeah, I know y'all just sat waiting for us for, I don't know, 45 minutes, but we'd like to take a quick break so we can talk to some of you. Just a really quick break, okay? So let's make it 5 minutes. Can y'all do that? She wants a line. No, just a few minutes for us to come out and visit with some of y'all.
found it.
Very good, that'll work. All right, congrats again. Yes, sir. Stand here.
You're doing the fit for you, right?
Yes.
You need anything, you got everybody here.
I don't know if they'll putting in a pause every now and then. The camera is always rolling. Did you send that for the
Yes, I did.
Okay. I don't know I told you before, but I didn't answer the email that you sent out. I couldn't remember my
Yeah,
name.
you sent me a.
Bye, everybody. Thank you for sticking around. Appreciate it. Looking forward to a great year next year. Okay, next up in our agenda is our consent agenda items. BE Local states that the consent agenda shall include items of a routine and/or recurring nature grouped together under one action item. All such items shall be acted upon by one vote without separate discussion unless a board member requested an item be withdrawn for individual consideration. The remaining items shall be adopted under a single motion and vote as applicable. So this evening we have item A, which is approval of board minutes of regular meeting April 27th and budget workshop May 12th, 2021. B, approval of tax collection reports for April 2021. C, approval of proposed budget amendments and financial statements for April 2021. D, approval of district-wide HVAC systems maintenance equipment parts and services, which is RFP number 2102. E, approval of district-wide plumbing systems maintenance equipment parts and services, which is RFP 2103. F, approval of district-wide special education services, RFP 2105. G, information regarding Seguin ISD's participation in the Region 13 Regional Day School Program for the Deaf. Item H is information regarding the purchase of English and Spanish teaching kits for all elementary campuses from Lakeshore Learning Materials through the Buy Board Purchasing Co-op. I, information regarding the purchase of moving services for Jefferson Elementary from Move Solutions through the Buy Board Purchasing Co-op. J, information regarding the purchase of complete Spanish language and complete refresher classroom library sets for grades pre-K through 3rd from books sourced through the Buy Board Purchasing Co-op. K, there's personnel information of professional employees. And I, to acknowledge the Public Information Act request from April through May 2021. Do any of the trustees want to pull any of those for separate discussion? All right, if not, do I hear a motion to approve the consent agenda items as listed? Thank you, Mr. Amador. Do I have a second? Ms. Crittenden? So everybody in approval, please raise your right hand. We're all good. Motion carries 6-0. And we also have one action item, item 8A, which is possible approval of Riesemeister Middle School FF&E.
Good evening, President Jimenez, members of the board, Dr. Gutierrez. I'd just like to thank the staff that was involved in this recommendation that we are making for the purchase of furniture, fixtures, and equipment for the Riesemeister Middle School renovation project. We're asking that you give us the authority to negotiate with Indico. They are a provider of all manner of furniture, fixtures, and equipment that we had an opportunity to look at some samples of some of the items, but we're asking for a negotiation opportunity right now because we obviously have not had an opportunity to see samples of everything, and we need to be able to look at everything in greater detail in order to fully execute a contract. So with what we have at the moment, we feel like they offer the best value for the project.
Are they in the region?
Yes, they are. They have a local representative to speak more to that. We have our design team here. If you want to have some discussion as to the history that we may have with them or that they may have with them and things of that nature.
All right.
We'll get into the
Anybody want to hear this
selection.
discussion? Okay, sure. Good. You can bring them up.
Come on up, guys. You'll recognize these familiar faces. So
Yeah.
it'll be
I can
Robin
see them out
Popa
there
and
before.
Florin Popa and James Pizzagna. Of course, we had several others on the staff, representatives from the campus, as well as various areas of operation in the selection process. With that, I'll give it to Robin. Take it away.
Thank you, President Jimenez, Board of Trustees, Dr. Gutierrez. We actually had a really great opportunity to work with Seguin ISD and with a lot of the stakeholders, both at the I'm gonna have to take this out. Both at the campus level, but also from the administration level on really rethinking what the furniture is going to be for A.J. Riesemeister Middle School. As you know, the construction project that's happening over there is really transforming the educational experience for that school, so we wanted to make sure that the furniture was reflective of that as well and could support a more collaborative and team-based learning environment. So what we did is throughout the past several months, probably about the last 6 months really in earnest, we asked several area vendors, all of them who have offices or distribution sites out of San Antonio and or Austin, to provide samples of various type of student desking. So that would be the desks and the chairs, teacher chairs, teacher desks, and those are the primary pieces that are going to be obviously in the new project. But we also listed out all other types of furniture that goes into the project. So library furniture, cafeteria, tables and chairs, office furniture for the admin area. We had the opportunity to work with the Seguin ISD stakeholders to kind of evaluate the samples from a very big picture point of view. So we really settled on characteristics that we wanted those furniture pieces to impart on the construction project, and we built a set of bidding documents, if you will, for the various furniture vendors based on that performance criteria. We then sent it out to the various vendors that we know of in the area, asked them to submit proposals for the furniture package. Those are the numbers that I believe are in one of the attachments to the board agenda item. As a second tier, after those proposals, we asked each of those vendors to provide actual samples of a student desk, a student chair, and a teacher chair. Those tend to be the pieces that are going to be most highly used or abused throughout their life at the school. So the evaluation group was able to look at the pieces and really kind of make their selection criteria based on the pieces that they felt offered the most comfort, but also seemed the most durable and were most supportive of what we envisioned to be that educational environment for Briesmeister. So what Tony has just described is kind of the next step with your approval on allowing us negotiation capabilities. We will reach out to Indico, who has an office in San Antonio, and we will begin the process of vetting all the furniture items. At last count, I think it was like 59 items that we're going to go through and make sure that we have all the parts and pieces itemized and clearly spelled out in their proposal. And so based on those clarifications, and we'll select colors at that time, finishes, that is going to be what ends up generating the final purchase order for that vendor. So that's kind of a real summary of the last 6 months.
So you've worked with this vendor before?
We have, yeah. It's typical for vendors of that sort to work directly with the district, but we have had a lot of experience working with Indigo. They're very reputable in the area. Actually, I would say all of the vendors that submitted proposals are extremely reputable in the school furniture arena. So,
will the furniture be similar to what's over at the high school?
It will have similar characteristics. We did spend a lot of time at the high school talking with staff there about what works well, what we can improve upon.
Okay, good.
And obviously there is a little bit of consideration given the fact that you're talking about older students versus middle school students. So,
11-year-olds.
Yes, yes. So, yes, we did take that into consideration.
Any further questions? If not, do I hear a motion to approve for the district administration to negotiate with Indigo Sales for FF&E? I have that for Mr. Amador. Do I hear a second? Mr. Guetta, all in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0. Thank you. Looking forward to seeing what's happening out there, really. All right, so that almost brings us to the end of our meeting. Item 9 is for board comments and requests. Does anybody have anything they'd like to bring up? I do want to let y'all know that we're looking at a public hearing on the budget before our meeting on June the 15th. Can y'all check your calendars? It would be at 6 o'clock right before the meeting. So I just want to make sure.
June 15th?
Yeah. Our next meeting is June 15th, correct?
Yeah.
This is an annual thing we do. It's a public hearing. Okay. No.
On your request, could we schedule in some sort of a discussion on our baseball field and that improvements?
Okay, sometime in the near future. Okay.
We can, in fact, Mr. Lewis and Coach Daly and I are going to walk fields
June 3rd.
next week, I guess.
Probably
or
all
so.
drowning in water right now. Yeah. Okay, so we're good for the 15th for a public hearing. And then I had a question, which you can get back to us on, but looking ahead to graduation, I think some of us are kind of curious on what that's going to look like this year. So
Yes, we'll get that information.
Okay.
They're currently working out the details.
All right, good.
We'll get that information as soon as possible so that everyone can plan accordingly.
Okay, so nothing else from anybody? If not, do I hear a motion to adjourn? Mr. Amador, do I hear a second? I was going to second. Okay. All in favor, raise your right hand. This meeting is now over. It is 8:41. And in case you're interested, I brought cucumbers and Mr. Lewis has them in his office.